So, City are back to winning ways in the Premier League in probably the least convincing and most City way possible with a 3-2 win against Fulham in a 3 o'clock kickoff that I did not watch for legal purposes. I have not seen the game.
Stop the cap.
But yeah, we'll get into things straight away. I'm kind of hoping the glasses, make me seem a bit more intellectual and make me look a bit more sophisticated and make it seem like I really do know ball. Not saying I didn't know ball to begin with, because obviously, that's kind of what my channel's called, and this isn't, there's no fraud happening here. I'm just saying, like, it might make it seem like I know ball even better than I already did. But yeah, we'll get into the game, and as you can see, like, no, I'm not too happy with how the performance went, because I think it was a very cagey game, and obviously we went 1-0 down. We went 1-0 down after a fantastic backheel assist from Jimenez. Finds Pereira, the former Manchester United man, like, kind of open in the middle of the 6-yard box. Akanji doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where the ball's come from. He doesn't know where the ball's going. He doesn't know Pereira's behind him. Pereira taps it past Ederson, and bam, we go 1-0 down. Pereira loves a goal against Man City. I'm pretty sure he scored in the treble winning season after Cancelo committed GBH on Harry Wilson running into the box. But yeah, so we went 1-0 down, and then we could have found ourselves 2-0 down if it wasn't for an excellent save from Ederson. He made an excellent save from Adama Traore before the goal went in after a quick counter-attack from a City corner. Found Adama Traore like in behind. He's 1-on-1 with Rico Lewis. Had to get into a strength battle with Rico Lewis, and you can't really blame little Rico for losing out on that one, can you? But yeah, Ederson makes an excellent save. Then obviously we go 1-0 down, and then he, like, I don't know if he actually makes a save or gets anything on the ball, but he definitely is out quick enough to put Traore off, making it 2-0, and then we would have been in some real trouble coming back from 2-0 against Fulham, because they are quite a well-drilled side, and I think Fulham are a very good side over the past 2-3 seasons since they got promoted again. But yeah, and then we obviously find ourselves a way back into the game from a corner ourselves. Kovacic lashes the ball, and it kind of just skims off Anderson's leg as it goes through his legs, bobbles up. Leno can do nothing about it, and bam, we find ourselves at 1-1, and it was 1-1, and we were back in the game, but we didn't really have a steady foothold in the game at all, and it was a lot like the Newcastle game, where we would find ourselves in comfortable spells of possession where we've got a lot of the ball, we've got Bernardo making a lot of touches, we've got Grealish taking a lot of touches, Gundogan and Kovacic, but we weren't really like peppering their back line and trying to create chances, and Haaland wasn't seeing much of the ball at all, if really ever, in the box. And there were a few lapses in concentration again, which led to dangerous counter-attacks from Fulham. Obviously, they're going to do that every single time when you've got Adama Traore on your team. He's going to cause problems on the counter-attack, no matter what defence you're up against. Then we come into the second half. Foden picks up the ball on the left, whacks a nice little cross over to Bernardo, who takes a touch, tees up Kovacic on the edge of the box, who takes one touch round the defender, and then bam, just sort of places the ball into the back of the net to make it 2-1. Kovacic gets a brace, scores a very, very nice goal, and I'd probably say he was my man of the match. From everything that I saw, I thought Kovacic was the best player on the pitch for City, other than maybe Ederson, and that is kind of mad to say, because Ederson obviously conceded 2 goals, the second one which we'll get onto a bit later, but I think if it wasn't for Ederson, City wouldn't have won the game. So I think Ederson definitely kept City in games at key points, but I think Kovacic really did run the show in the midfield, along with Rico. I thought Rico was good again. Obviously, in a few of his duels, he was second best, but, he's not the strongest lad, and I can cut him a little bit of slack in those positions, but I think on the ball and going forward, he was good, and he almost had a nice goal for himself from outside the box as he chested it down and volleyed it towards goal with it just creeping wide of the post. But I think, it was nice to see Foden back in the team, someone just with a bit of vision and the ability to make things happen in the midfield. I thought he was quite good today. Obviously, he wasn't at his best, but it was definitely more refreshing than seeing Grealish, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. Obviously, after we had the lead, Kyle Walker finds himself onto the pitch, coming on for Akanji. Then Doku comes on for Grealish. And Walker, let's just say, got absolutely burnt by Adama Traore. You know, the pace has well and truly left the man. His only good asset has left him. He looked average compared to Adama Traore. And, you know, it is some feat making Kyle Walker look average in a leg race, in a sprint. But he did that, and it forced another good save from Ederson to keep, you know, the lead in City's favour. And then, you know, the game was getting very cagey again. Fulham were getting lots of possession. They were finding themselves creating a lot of chances. There was a good block from Gvardiol to deny Jimenez a shot on target, and I could guarantee that shot probably would have hit the back of the net if Gvardiol wasn't there to intervene. But Rico Lewis was able to pick the ball up a bit later on, start a counter-attack, find Doku. Doku cuts inside and places a beautiful shot past Leno into the back of the net. It's one of the best finishes I've seen from him. And it was, you know, it's some of the best bit of stuff that he's done in the final third. Obviously, on the left, we do struggle with a winger for a bit of end product. Obviously, Jack Grealish's shots, all of them get blocked. Like, it's almost like he cuts in and just looks to hit a defender because all of his shots get blocked. Obviously, Doku's decision making in the final third isn't always the best. Sometimes he picks the wrong decision. He passes when he should probably shoots when he should probably pass, or continues running when he should have do either of the two things I've just mentioned. But, you know, it was a beautiful goal from him, and I was sat there. I was like, okay, game done. All we have to do is keep the ball now. Nice 3-1 win. Back to winning ways, right? Obviously, City don't know how to do that. And Nelson whips in across to Muniz, who takes a beautiful touch and pokes the ball past Ederson, making it 3-2 with 2 minutes of normal play and 5 minutes of extra time to go. And, you know, I'm just, you know, thinking, okay, cool. Now we've got the ball a bit higher up the pitch. You know, keep it in the corner, keep passing it around. No, we give Fulham a corner in the 93rd minute, which we had to defend, and we did defend well. We ended up getting the ball up the pitch, and we ended up seeing it to full time and getting the win. But again, like I said at the start, it wasn't convincing, and that is my problem, and that is my main takeaway from today's game. Yes, we won. Yes, Kovacic got 2 goals. Yes, Ederson made some important saves. Yes, Foden was back in the team, and yes, Doku got his first Premier League goal of the season, and he looks to be finding a bit of form. But it's just not convincing at all. We don't look good enough for creating chances. We actually look void of any creativity without De Bruyne in the team, and then any midfield stability without Rodri in the team. And since Rodri's, you know, obviously got injured, we've been prone and susceptible to counter-attack after counter-attack and getting dragged into basketball games constantly. Obviously, you saw that against Newcastle, saw it again today against Fulham, and we got a bit luckier today than we did away at St James's Park. And, you know, I do just think the wing partnership of Grealish and Bernardo Silva just can't keep happening. And you know, I'm not even going to knock Grealish, because I think Grealish has looked very good in the last 2 games that he's played in the Premier League. But Bernardo Silva is just not a right winger. He's too predictable. You know what Bernardo Silva is going to do every time he picks that ball up on the right side, and it's really easy to defend against. And that's why you need to play either Doku and Savio on the wings, or just one of them out on the right wing, because they're unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. And even when they do their predictable moves, where Doku does that sort of shimmy he does, where he sort of like shimmies his hips and puts the ball forward, you know, it's still difficult to defend against. Obviously, I'll draw back to the comparisons to Mahrez. Like, Mahrez, very, very predictable right winger. You know exactly what he's going to do, but it was very difficult to stop. And that's not what you get with Bernardo. You know what he's going to do, and it is quite easy to defend against, and it's quite easy to nullify Bernardo when he's on the right side. And yes, Bernardo Silva has had good games off the right. Obviously, you look at the goal he scored against Bayern Munich at the Etihad, and then you look at the 2 goals he got against Real Madrid, obviously again at the Etihad in the treble winning season, in the Champions League run. Obviously they're very important goals, but I feel like some of our fans still see those goals and see those moments and think, wow, that was just yesterday. Bernardo Silva's so good off the right wing. He's not. Bernardo Silva's not good off the right wing. And I've been saying it for quite a while. I don't mind Bernardo in the midfield, and I don't mind Bernardo Silva in the middle when you need to control the tempo against, you know, a bigger team. But Bernardo Silva on the right wing is just not it. Like, it's not gonna work. And if we're gonna, you know, really be serious this season and try win the title without Rodri in the team and missing KDB for however long we're going to miss him, because he might even get injured throughout the season after this, after he returns, like, we need creativity and we need people that are going to take risks, and that's why Foden has to be getting game time, Doku has to be getting game time, and Savinho also has to be getting game time. All three of those players are risk takers, right? And yes, things might not always go to plan, and they might give the ball away stupidly, and we might concede off the back of that, but at least they're taking risks. And I think that is the one thing that we're missing. Like, we play too cautiously and we're too careful up top, but at the same time we defend really recklessly, and that's why we're drawing so many games, because even when we're cautious going forward, we're not as cautious in possession further back, and it ends up with us giving away penalties against Newcastle. It ends up with Arsenal's first goal when we drew against them 2-2. It ends up with Brentford's goal. It ends up with Ipswich's goal, and it ends up with two of the goals we saw today. And it just can't keep happening, in my opinion. And if we're going to be really serious this season, like I just said, and win trophies with our key players, we really do need to start taking risks and start playing our risk takers. And you know, we probably do need to sign some people in January as well. I am hearing links of many different holding midfielders that we are linked to, and I'm probably going to look more into that in depth at a later date and potentially make a video on that. And see how concrete and substantial some of these rumours are. But at the moment, we have to work with the personnel we've got. And the lineup that we've seen today and the lineup that we saw against Newcastle, I just don't think the wing pairing, I just don't think it works. And we need to go back to the drawing board when it comes to attacking with width, because we've got two excellent, bright prospects in the club on the wings. And that's even forgetting Bob, who's obviously unfortunately injured at the moment. And we're playing Bernardo Silva and Grealish, who, you know, I'm not going to knock Grealish because I think he's been good in the last two games, but they're very predictable. You know what they're going to do, and they're not as expansive and direct as you'd really hope your wingers to be. But, you know, that's all I really have to say on the game. Again, please do let me know your thoughts on the game down below, and, you know, how you think City can probably just get back to playing with a bit more confidence and a bit more control in the games, because we look second best in a lot of the games we've played this season, and that's even in the ones we've won earlier in the season. You look at, you know, we weren't exactly playing the most convincing football against West Ham. We went 1-0 down to Ipswich. You know, these things have happened when Rodri was on the pitch. So it's not just losing Rodri. You know, we have been playing with a lack of control in some of these games, and how do we fix that? So please let me know that down in the comments. Again, like the video if you enjoyed. You know, your support is very much appreciated. Share this video with your friends if you think they'd enjoy listening to me talk on this topic, and obviously suggest video topics in the comments down below. But with all that being said, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, especially if you watch a lot of my videos and I keep coming up on your recommended feed. You know, again, like I said a minute ago, your support is really much appreciated. But with all that being said, I've been Nathan, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Shut down cases, they belly dots to the can't see faces, chasing the bad guy chase it. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like G-Takes and turn them out wasted. Aye, tell a bad bitch come break it, body come mad, come shake it, then get back to the basics, bro, don't shut down cases, they belly dots to the